Alright, Jins guys, what's up? Time for another reading of the Citizens Course in Freedom versus Communism. Next chapter is titled Lenin Built the Party. And this is just an extension or adaptation of the last chapter I read where Marx gave communists a goal. This one says Lenin built the party, but it starts out, it reads, Marx gave the communists a goal in life, and at the same time removed any moral restraints on the actions of people seeking that goal. Which is, like I said before, justify any form of violence, kill whoever refuses to be re-educated, and all that jazz, and do whatever if there are people that they want to kill, they're scum, they can do whatever they please with them. Kill them and rape their kids and everything else, But then, who are they going to tell if they're dead? The dead people are always the liar, But, so, on this framework, Lenin built modern communism. He furnished the operating doctrine. Marx told communists why they should work. Lenin told them how they should work. He also added some important principles to Marx's doctrine. Marx and Engels were somewhat vague about what would follow the revolution, but they did feel it would be followed by a period of socialism. During this interim period, the nation's existing institutions and economic system would be completely overhauled. All the capitalists and reactionaries would be liquidated or purged in one way or another. Liquidated or purged. Like either jailed, executed, and take the kids away, re-educate them, while they're still kids, and give some of them better privileges than others, and groom them to be the next future ruralists, rapists, and people that have the right to confiscate property. And when they overthrow a country, of course, the way they can afford to sort of promise, and in a way the way they can afford to produce what they promise if they were to overthrow a country, namely ours, would come from spoils that would come from the people they jail, execute, and kill, And those spoils, everything from houses, property, to the children of the people that they murder or jail, so they can do the kids. They can do anything they want with, and some of them re-indoctrinate them and re-educate them like the Nazis did to young kids. And any other ones would be just killed or done whatever they please with. So, yeah, that comes along with it. Yeah, no different than like the Nazis or the Dark Ages warlords. And people in the 60s tried to say that the Marxist revolution would bring about peace. A violent revolution bring about peace. And a communist type of government that has violent control over its people, like Castro and Che Guevara. You see in the History Channel about him, the violent revolution and takeover of Cuba. So they the country that I think Jim Quinn said, and I also saw on the History Channel, one of them communist countries that did a takeover like that actually burned some of the officials or whatever and politicians after they took over the country. They burned them to death, burned them alive. There's how communism actually brings about peace. There's your peace. The translation is submit to them, and they just won't bother you. And if you get burned to death, executed, and jailed, you brought it on yourself, and you just don't want peace. It's your fault, But anyway, on with the rest of the book. All others would be re-educated until their character has changed enough to enable them to live in a pure communistic society. This idea of remolding the nature of character of people is a basic idea of communism. And a very vital part too, because that's the whole goal from the beginning, you know what I mean? And they feel they have the right to violently take over, murder, and torture anybody who does not comply, because they think they run things, and they think they have infused knowledge, and they know better than you do, and they have somebody somewhere or something gave them a right to run things. And if you don't agree with it, you're dead or whatever. If they have the guns, they got the rules, you know what I mean? But alright, where did I leave off? Okay, Marx and Engels apparently believed that this interim period of socialism would be short, and the revolution would be almost instantaneously usher in a new society. Yeah, right. Lenin translated Marx's abstract theories into plans for a long-range struggle. He taught that the revolution would go on for years, both against enemies within the country and enemies from other countries. He thus changed the idea of revolution for practical purposes. From that of a single upheaval into a protracted conflict. Marx and Engels also concentrated on the class struggle within a nation. In other words, played people off against each other. Lenin expanded the doctrine of class warfare within a state to form a class warfare among nations. And again, play them off against each other. He envisioned the world as a great battlefield, with capitalistic nations on one side and socialistic nations on another. Other words, he was a big shit starter, Some people tried to say communism was a thing to bring about peace, but from what you read here, a shit starter who wants to play people off against each other and have a big cause of a big violent conflict, so his people can violently take somebody over and execute the people that disagree with him. Yeah, some goal of peace, isn't it? But try telling some other people that. But yeah, that's. Oh yeah, nice, charming little world. Instead of a free market, where people buy and sell food, they'll provide it, tell you how much you can and can't consume, ration it out, and the means of producing the food would be by anybody they arrest, like in maybe places like North Korea. You don't agree with them, they send you to a work camp, send you and your whole family to a work camp until you die. Yeah, prison labor to provide the food, to have them work on the farms. That would be one of their ways to do away with the free market. Yeah, a very charming world they would want to live in, you know what I mean? The people they don't kill would be on prison work camps to do all the work on the farm for food production, and maybe work on all the roads and do all this shit like that, slave labor. The people they don't execute or whatever, or throw in jail, use some of them as slave labor. Yeah, nice little package there. Big dreams for taking over the world. Very laughable, but that's what